Residential Report Writing and Case Studies, Chapter 7, Narrative Appraisal Reports, page 21, Highest and Best Use. When you are performing a market value appraisal, USPAP requires that the support and rationale for your opinion of highest and best use be summarized in an appraisal report. This conclusion need merely be stated in a restricted appraisal report. Many appraisers misunderstand the applicability of a highest and best use analysis and do not discuss it properly within an appraisal report. Appraisers often simply state their opinion of the highest or of the property's highest and best use rather than explain their reasoning. As you are writing a narrative appraisal report, you should provide a good narrative explanation and analysis. The appraiser's highest and best use conclusion should be based on the concept of what the most probable buyer of the subject property would do with the property to maximize its value. The best way to do this is to separately discuss, explain, and expound on each of the four test criteria in order. Legally permissible explains what is permitted by current zoning, deed restrictions, or other land use regulations. If the subject is a legal, non-conforming use, explain this as well. Provide a conclusion explaining what is legally permissible on the site. Physically possible. A description of the site's ability to physically accommodate the existing or proposed improvements. Items discussed can include the availability of utilities, soil conditions, street access, and other factors. Provide a conclusion about what is physically possible. For instance, the existing or proposed use. Financially feasible. For an income-producing property, this includes items such as market demand, rents, vacancies, operating expenses, the property's ability to produce a positive net income, secure financing, and, if necessary, securing equity funding. All these should be examined and explained. Provide a conclusion about the financial feasibility of the existing or proposed use. Maximally productive. The conclusion of what use is the maximally productive use. For instance, the use that provides the greatest land value returned to the land. If the site is improved, the conclusion should address if the existing use is the site's highest and best use, or if demolition, continued use, or modification of the existing use would be the highest and best use. End of page. Residential report writing and case studies. Chapter 7, Narrative Appraisal Reports, page 22. Listings, agreements, options, and prior sales. When an appraiser is performing a market value appraisal, USPAP requires that the appraiser analyze all agreements of sale, options, and listings of the subject property that are current as of the effective date of the appraisal. Sales of the subject property that occurred within 3 years prior to the effective date of the appraisal. These requirements apply only if the information is available to the appraiser in the normal course of business. While it may be rare that such information will be unavailable to you, it can happen. Before you can write your analysis of these items, you may need to do some investigating. This section should continue an opinion about the impact or non-impact of any such information you found on your final opinion of value. If there are no existing agreements of sale, options, or a listing, you should state that fact. One way to address this is the appraiser investigated the existence of any current or recent agreements of sale, purchase options, or listing agreements and confirmed with the owner that there were none. While not required by USPAP, if the property was listed for sale but was withdrawn, or if recent previous offers were made and rejected by the owner, it would be prudent to discuss and explain those facts too. A USPAP FAQ addressing this issue appears on the next page. End of page.